Hi there. Is it luck or consciousness that brings forth your life experiences? Both of those, luck and consciousness, are mindsets. And depending on which mindset we choose, which are states of being, states of mind, if you will, that's what actually bring forth our life experiences. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Hi there. My name is Lois. Welcome to Within Living's YouTube channel. I'm so happy that you're here, and I do thank you for coming here. I appreciate you being here. So here at Within Living, all our conversations are about spirituality, but with a specific focus on consciousness. And when I say consciousness, I'm talking about who we call God, who we call the All, who we call the Christ, who we call the Spirit. Some of us call it Allah, some of us call it the universe. It has called itself I Am. There's only one source of existence, just one source, irrespective of what we call it. And so our conversations here are going to be focused on taking you back within, because consciousness is within you. Yes, we're living in it without, the reflection of it without, but it actually is within you. Consciousness is the source of your existence. It is your very soul. And so here, all our conversations are going to be provoking you. My content is very thought-provoking, to provoke you to think below the surface for yourself, to encourage you and support you to go back within and connect to the true nature, your authentic self and identity that you are as the soul. That's what the spiritual awakening is about. And I believe all of us here, or most of us, are on a spiritual awakening journey. So I'm just here to support you along your way. And so that's what the focus of all my content here, whether it's here on YouTube or on my blog at withinliving.com, and I suggest you go, there's lots of content there for you, or in our community, the Within Living Transformational community, then all our content is focused on supporting you and guiding you back within to discover your true identity as the soul. The soul is perfect. You're already perfect. And to live from that place. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And to you, my regular subscribers, I just thank you so much for your support, for watching these videos every week, for liking them, sharing them, and making this platform a success. And for you, our new viewers, if my content or myself resonates with you, go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have you join us. We're a very loving community, a very supporting community of people here. So go ahead, subscribe, hit the ring bell button, and you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so just a few other announcements that I want to make. So I want to give a special shout out today to Tiffany S, Camilla S, and Robin D for your generous donations in appreciation for my work. I do appreciate you greatly for appreciating the work that I do here. And my intention is that all the content I bring forth, whether it's on YouTube or on the blog or through the community, it is going to help you and support you to really go below the surface, go within, connect back to your true divine God self, the soul of you, get to know it and come in harmony with it, and then live from that state of being. When you live from your God presence, all things truly are possible to you. So that's what we're about here. So anyway, getting back into today's conversation now, is it luck or consciousness that brings forth your life experience? I want to say to you that in my experience, in my opinion, I believe that it all comes from a choice, whether we make that choice consciously or subconsciously. It is a mindset. It just is a mindset. Because at the end of the day, and that mindset is just a mental state of being. It's a mental state of being. It's where we're residing most in the mind, in the thoughts, right? Thoughts are what determine the outcome of our life experiences. So I believe that when we are in our awakening, where we've woken up from that initial sleepwalking stage, and we become aware that we're more than just these wonderful bodies, right? We're more than just the humans. We're having the experience, but we're spiritual beings. It's the opportunity to shift into consciousness. And when I say consciousness, I'm talking about going back within and connecting back to the divine self, the God presence, the soul. The soul is God. In religion, they would call that the Holy Spirit or Christ within or the God presence. It doesn't matter what we call it. It's the same entity. It is an eternal being. It is divine. It is omnipotent. It is omniscient. It is you. It is the essence of you. It is the very source of the breath of your life. You could not exist without it. It is the I of you before the am of you. It is the I. You have to exist before you become. So it is the very existence or essence or spirit of you. It is the true you. When we live from that state of being and we begin to train the mind, this is where transformation comes in. It's not the knowing of it that's going to get it done. No, I wish. It's the actual doing. And for you, I'll just tell y'all straight, that was the hardest work I ever did. Yeah, discipline in the mind, breaking the egoic patterns of the mind. But it's a little bit of work, but very well worth it, because once you do it and you become the master of your thoughts, everything in your outer experience has to change. It just has to change. You no longer then have to get hung up on worrying about manifesting this and manifesting that and manifesting no. Manifest a change in the concept of yourself, which is the identification of yourself. Who do you see yourself as being? Who do you, honest to God, are convinced that you are? Who do you believe you are? Because, for example, on the one hand, somebody may say, well, you know, I'm working at, tell me how to get, can you do me more videos and tell me how to get more money? Can you tell me how to become abundant? You are the abundance. You don't have the money. You don't have the abundance because you haven't done the work to convince yourself that you're not a victim. You are not a victim. You're a victor. You are the source of the wealth. You are the abundance of the wealth. You are abundance itself because you are the soul, because you are God. If you have not done that work, then it doesn't matter how much you want to have these other attributes in your life. They're not coming because they can't come. And when they come on a hit and miss. So we may have done something and we could affirm and affirm and affirm and affirm and affirm, and we push the energy, or what they call bend reality, and manifest something. It can't stay. It just can't stay because it's not in harmony with you. So let's say back to the wealth. If a person really honest to God doesn't believe that they are worthy and they are deserving of having the wealth because they are the abundance of the wealth, then no matter how many hundreds of millions of dollars or zillions of dollars it comes, or house or car or boat or whatever, it can't stay. It can't stay because the nature of that thing is abundance, but the energy of the person is operating or vibrating at lack, limitation, and poverty. Then they're not in harmony. It cannot stay. It is not in harmony. It goes back to the law. It says no two can walk together unless they be in agreement. You just can't. You can't have a house divided against itself, can't stand. So a person can't just be believing then, well, you know, yeah, I've been abused. I'm a victim. I'm just so desperate and I'm just so needy and I'm just going to do all I got to do and get me a bunch of money that I could feel secure and abundant. You may get that money, but that money cannot stay. So you hit and miss, and that's what you call luck. You hit it one time, you may not hit it for another 1,000 times. That's your luck. You've heard people talk about when their luck run out. Luck can run out. Consciousness, on the other hand, cannot run out. Consciousness is steadfast. Consciousness is unrelenting. Consciousness is having a confident conviction that it is. So how do we then develop or get to have this consciousness? We develop or get to have this consciousness by first changing our conviction, our belief of who we have identified ourselves with or as. If a person's core conviction is that they've experienced things in life that says that they're unworthy, or someone did so and so and so and so and so to them, therefore they feel lacking or in need or undeserving, then their first job is not really to try to attract a bunch of money or sweet love or any of those external things. No, absolutely not. Their first work is to go back within. This is what some people call healing the little child. Lois doesn't believe in healing any little child, okay? What I do believe is bringing a correction to that little child. We don't have to heal. We're just going to bring you back to where you need to be. That little child is really the ego. So it's going back, and then first of all, if a person been operating at very low vibration from living reactively, when we deal with luck, right? We're not living deliberately, responsively. We're living reactively. Something comes up and react. We're reactional. And human nature in general is very reactive. For the most part, most of humanity lives on the reactive edge, right? So in other words, we're always reacting to a crisis or to get something done or figure something out, right? All right. That's living out of the ego. When we go back to consciousness, consciousness is living out of the soul. Who you are as the soul, the God presence. The God presence in you, or the Christ presence, or the Holy Spirit, or whatever you want to call it. Some even call it just the Spirit. One of its characteristics is steadfastness. It is steadfast, unwavering, don't move. So when we go back then to learning and understanding who the soul is, and then doing the inner work that we need to do, which is a total transformation of how we have been perceiving ourselves to be, to now come in harmony with who we truly were made to be, not who we've been thinking we were based on our life experiences, but who we really are, and living in the consciousness of that. That's having command of the thoughts. That's being the master of your mind. then when we live from that place in consciousness, we're not living erratically. No. We're not living reactively. No. We're living consciously, deliberately. So we're living responsively. We're responding. The outward at the moment says there's the lack and limitation. I'm responding to that outward by saying, no, that is not who I am. That might be the experience that we've been having up to this point because that's who we were believing that we were. But no, that is no longer who I am. I am the soul. I am a divine incarnation of the one God. I am the child, the God keyed low, the offspring of God, created in the image and the likeness of the Creator. Therefore, I am one with the Creator. The Creator is one with me. There is no poverty in the Creator. There's no bankruptcy in the Creator. There's no lack in the Creator. There's no limitation in the Creator. Therefore, I am choosing my conscious choice. I am choosing to believe, to be moved with the conviction, to assume that because the Creator and I are one, I'm in God, God is in me, then I am abundant because God is abundant. I just have to be abundant because God is abundant. All my needs are met. I don't care what you're doing out there in the three-dimensional world. That's what we did until I understood that I was one with God. But now that I understand that I'm one with God, I've been awakened to this realization, then this is my truth going forward. Therefore, you no longer are a truth for me. You see what I'm saying? So, because when we're awakened and we have the revelation that we're one with God, that we really are these divine beings, maybe it doesn't come across initially like we're one with God, but we have the understanding that we are more than these human bodies. We're divine beings. But then we continue to allow the illusion of the belief that we had before we have that revelation to dominate our lives. Then we may have been awakened, but we really haven't budged. We haven't been transformed. Just because we've been awakened doesn't mean we're going to experience the benefits of the awakening of our true divine nature, because we're still allowing the illusion of the egoic self to be the dominant personality of us. That's the ego. And how do we allow it to be the dominant personality of us? By not being mindful of the thoughts. And in all honesty, I believe if everybody here in this video will take a moment and really reassess their own lives, I've had to do it, and be honest with your own self, because you can't lie to the God inside of you. You just don't even try, because you can't do it. But if you'll really reassess, if your life is not where you wanted it to be, especially spiritually, the only reason it's not there and you're not experiencing all those incredible manifestations that you desire to experience is because you have not been willing to make the commitment to do the work, to change. You cannot have a new life without transformation. You have to change. You have to change. You can't change the three-dimensional world. You can't change that partner you're having issues with. You can't change your money situation. You can't change anything outside of you. You can't change the experience the body is going through in the health department if you need a physical healing. You can't. You just can't. Those are facts. Those are facts. You can't change them. You can wish for luck and hope that by a happenstance something happened. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Or you can truly get serious, love yourself enough. And it comes, at the end of the day, it comes down to a lack of self-love and self-appreciation. May rub a few feathers, but so it is. It's the truth. Love yourself enough to make the commitment to you. Nobody else but you. Value you enough to make the commitment to you that no matter what the cost is, I'm going to pay that price, and I'm going to take command of my thoughts. I am going to do the inner work to understand who I truly, honest to God, am as the soul, as the God within me. And I'm going to do that work to reprogram my mind with new thoughts, the thoughts of my new identity, of who I am as the God presence, right? Until I develop the conviction within me that indeed, yes, I am. I am going to love me enough to do that. It's only in that process, my friend, that you're going to experience transformation. Because that's what transformation is. And transformation does not come about by just wanting it to come about, by reading it. You know, people recite to me all the time what other people have said or what they've read, but then they'll send me a question about some stuff that's disconnected in their life and wonder why. You can read every book. Listen to every video, and that's some of the problem. Y'all are running around from one place to the other place, hearing all this stuff and never sitting down and finding. You don't have to do it with Lois, okay? No, you don't. Not unless what Lois says resonates with your soul and you're convinced that what Lois is saying can help you. It doesn't have to be with Lois. But find you somebody. Find you one, no more than two, people that are saying the same thing, because you have to have agreement. If not, you have chaos. That your soul resonates with. And if they're generous enough to give you guidance on what to do, please love yourself enough to do it. Do it for yourself. That you can experience the transformation. Transformation cannot come to you any other way. If you go back to the scripture book, it talks about renewing the mind through the washing of the word. In other words, whatever the new thought is you want, you have to wash the mind, renew the mind with washing this word. In other words, program in this word. That's the new identity of who you are coming in alignment with, right? And so that's religion in the book, the Bible. And then we know in neuroscience, the science proves what the Bible says. Because the science is saying the only way to create a new belief, a new habit, or a new conviction is to reprogram the mind here with the new idea. That's it. And when you're reprogramming the mind, you have to be committed to be present. You can't be reprogramming and saying, the nature of my soul is abundance. I'm abundant. Oh, I am abundant. I don't care about what's in the cupboards out here, because I am abundant. That is my divine nature. It's my birthright. And then an hour later, you're calling your bestie and saying, you know, boo, it's really rough out here. I kind of be wondering, you know, when some money going to come through by this way again. You can't do that. You can't even entertain the conversation with yourself in your own mind and say, you know, I wonder how I'm going to pay that bill right there. You see, I got another bill here coming up. You know, I be affirming that I'm abundant and these bills keeps coming in. I wonder what's going on with that. As soon as you do that, you negated the affirmation about abundance. This is taking you back to the egoic self of being reactive and hope for luck. When you're in the state of consciousness coming from your soul, then you just look at them bills that keep coming and you just say, I don't even care about you because I am abundant. You are paid. I am decreeing and I'm declaring you are paid. You have already been provided for. You are paid. The money will come. And in the meantime, you sit right there and don't bother me because you are paid. I decided that you are. I'm not even looking at you because you're already taken care of. I am the source of the supply for you. So you are being paid. You're already provided for. Do you understand that? Of course you do. So I'm going to give you a quick little story from the good book, since we mentioned the good book. And it is something that at first glance, it sounds really, really rough. And when I was a young person, that was one of the kids, the scriptures when I was a kid. I remember being like 10, 12 years old and really just wrestling with God because it just seemed so totally unfair to me. And it's in Matthew 25:29. And it says, for to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But for him who does not have, even the little that he has will be taken away. Okay, let me read it again. Matthew 25:29. For everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But for him who does not have, even the little that he has will be taken away. That used to just be so painful for me until I got understanding. I thought, how could a good God be so unjust? You know, if a person is already suffering, then why do you want to take it away from them? I mean, why don't they get to have a little bit more? And for those who already have, they just keep getting more and more and more. I didn't necessarily hear an answer from God for that for a number of years. It might have been maybe when I was around 20. I think I was 21. And when I was 21, I went to Europe for a couple of months. That was my birthday gift to myself. And while I was traveling over Europe on the trains and stuff, I can remember going from one country to another country and just, especially when you're traveling through like some of the valleys, the mountains and the valleys, the countryside, and just looking at the magnitude of that and the difference of that comparing each country, right? And then somewhere along there, it just, I can't explain. It was just like a revelation, a light bulb, an epiphany. And it just was unveiled to me that, wait a minute. It goes back to the law. It goes back to the law. As you believe, so you become. As you believe, so you become. For the one who is abundant, they're abundant. Okay, Matthew 25:29. For to everyone who has, more will be given and he will be abundant. Why? He already believes that he has. He believes he has. Whether he sees it or not. He's not going by what he sees. He's going by what he believes. And because he believes he has, I have $100 right now. I need to buy a train ticket to Timbuktu. And the ego said, the ticket is $89. If you pay for that, then you don't have much more left. If I believe I am abundant and I always have money, I'm buying that ticket for $89 gladly with no reservation and expect to have me some. I'm going to find it on the train. Somebody's going to give it to me. It's going to show up in my account. I'm going to get an opportunity to do a little gig where I pick up me a few more dollars. It's coming to me one way or another. On the other hand, for him who does not have, so I have $100. I got to spend 89. I must get to Timbuktu. It's a must. It's not an option. It's not pleasure. It leaves me back to square one. And I start stressing and fussing and having fear and worry and anxiety. When I buy this ticket, I don't have enough left. When I get to Timbuktu, I don't have enough money to pay for the cab to take me from the train station to where I need to go. You see what I'm saying? Then what happens? That's exactly the outcome I'm going to have. I must have that. Why? Because it's what I believe. It's not God doing it to me. It's me doing it to me. It's me doing it to me. And going back to the Europe thing, I can remember back in the day, this really dates me, right? This was in the 70s. I think this was 1968. No, 1973, 72, 73, somewhere along there, maybe 71. Actually, it was 1971, I think. Okay. And back in the day, they used to have these hotels, right, in Europe that you could stay at for like $5 or $10 a day. And Lois said that all planned out before she left America. Okay, and then she got to Europe and no, you just didn't want to stay at one of those, okay? And then the money that I had budgeted to do that, it wasn't going to last. It was going to take me half the way. It was either I cut my trip short or I stayed in the divey places I didn't want to. And I made the decision. It was sitting on those trains, traveling through the countryside, and that revelation came to me. And I thought, well, you know what? I left home for 6 months. I'm not going back. Nope, I'm not going back. Somebody going to put me up. I've got to be someplace. Money going to have to figure out how to come to me by some way. I'm going to figure out how the Europeans doing over here. I'm going to figure out how to make the American dollar stretch over here. And what I can tell you is this. I ended up staying my 6 months. I ended up staying in some of the most luxurious and beautiful hotels in the world. I ended up staying with some family members and meeting family members I had that I never met in person before. And staying in some of their houses and getting money from them. I mean, a lot of money. Yeah. So again, and at that time in my life, like I said, I was 21 years old. This was a gift I gave to myself for my 21st birthday, my emancipation, right? Into adulthood. But again, I'm just saying, it goes back to the mindset. So to tie up this conversation, is it luck or consciousness that brings your experience? I'm saying that when it is luck, you're going on the feeling of emotion because you're going based on what you can see in the physical world and perceive in the physical world. And those emotions are fickle. They're not steadfast. So I'm going to encourage you, go back and harmonize with yourself. Go back and discover. Stop worrying about the money you want to get. Stop worrying about the SP you're trying to get. Stop worrying about the job and the home and the car and all the stuff you quote attracting to you. You can't attract it. And instead, love yourself enough to make the commitment to yourself to really, honest to God, discover who you are as the soul, the nature, the characteristics of the soul, and come in harmony with who you are as the soul. And when you do, when you live from that place, all those things have to manifest in your life, in your physical experience, because we manifest who we are, not what we want. Okay? This is a conversation that we're having in the Within Living Transformational community. We have a whole lesson that introduces you to truly knowing who you are as the soul, and talking about identifying and coming back in harmony with the soul and becoming transformed by understanding and aligning with the soul. And so I'm inviting you again, come on over to the Within Living Transformational Community. You'll find the link to it. I put a direct link to it. Apparently we have some issues with the page or whatever, but I put a link to it directly in my description box here for you. So go to the description box and you will find a link directly to it. You get 3 days free. Come on in, sign up, join us, and get 3 days free. We're actually going to be doing our next live on this coming Wednesday. Right? So if you come join us now, you get to attend the live, and it's good. It is good, and we have a wonderful group of people here. You're going to be supported here, and you're going to change. I'm telling you, if you come here and you work with us and you do what I ask you to do, it is coaching. It's not one-on-one coaching, but it is premier coaching. And if you just do what I ask you to do and just collaborate with some of these people and support these people, let these people support you along the way too, you're going to experience transformation. You're just going to. I'm not going to give you all that content here on YouTube like that. No, you can come over there and get it, okay? I love you all. It's been wonderful being here. I'm looking forward to seeing you in that community. You go right there today, right now, and sign up and get your first 3 days free. And come join us and go through this experience of transformation with us. All right. So thank you so very, very much. It's been my pleasure bringing this to you again today. I really enjoy bringing these videos to you. I'm very, very grateful for this call on my life to, just be this vessel. I'm not your teacher, okay? I'm just somebody here to help you and guide you and support you in your spiritual journey. So thank you for being here. That's going to be it for today. But remember, it's only one God. There's one God, one Lord, one source, one spirit, one consciousness. You are it. You, honest to God, are it. That's who the soul is. You have to really get to know the soul. It is God. And God is the essence of you. God is who we call, quote unquote, your higher self. It's one consciousness. Get to know this consciousness, and you get to know you. Okay, so for now, I'm going to say peace. Bye-bye for now. And remember, we're one love. There's only one love. Bye-bye.